Hello and welcome to another Doctor Assistant 1 video, and today I'm doing a review of the Age of Steel set. Now you might remember if you watched my new news a while ago saying what I got for Christmas, this was one of the things. I don't feel like I've reviewed this set technically. I might have reviewed each of these figures individually in a separate video, and that's mainly because I probably got each one in the Cyberman wave, which then made you be able to build the Cyber Leader from Tomb of the Cybermen, and yeah, unfortunately I got a lot of those Cybermen nicked because I got robbed, and that of loads of my Cybermen and Daleks. It's still rather unfortunate and not a pleasant thing to talk about, as you could imagine. But yeah, the figures are all fantastic figures. Personally, figure-wise at least, my two, the ones that I like the most are probably in this order: the Invasion one, the 10th Planet one, and then the Tomb of the Sandman one. But that's just that's just from being figures. Like, that's no complaint on the sort of design wise. Ironically, I think in this order of best to worst, I'd probably say the 10th Planet one I like the most, then the Tomb, and then Tomb of the Sandman one, and then the Invasion. Invasion one, design-wise, looks very plain, like its chest unit, but its head, sort of like helmet design, looks very somewhat more bland in that. But then you can see a lot more design work that then later gets used in the more modern ones in the revived series, and that I like. But as a figure, it does look very bland. Or design-wise, it looks very bland, but I just like kind of like playing with this figure and pretending, you know, this is the Cyberman, you know, and it taking over the TARDIS and whatnot. But figure-wise, the one that I like the least is this one, mainly because of all the wiring and stuff. It means that it's got limited articulation, and obviously I put them in order to oldest to newest one. I think that is the newest one, and then that one's the middle child, and then that one is the first one. It's Cyberman design, so it's the oldest one. I'll just move these ones out of the way. Articulation wise, for the 10th Planet Cyberman, his hands go in at the elbows, and that they can't really go full 360 degrees because of the shoulder pads and the piping and whatnot. The hands can go full 360 degrees. When they choose to. Yeah, full 360. The head can do full 360, but I don't really want to get loads of paint marks or rubs off of it. And then the knees, it can go in at the knee joint, and it does do full 360 boot articulation, even though I don't know why you'd want boot articulation. And then it can do kind of like it can bend at the sort of like back joint, and that's about all the articulation you're gonna get out of a 10th Planet Cyberman. I don't mind the fact that it's basic humanoidy kind of Cyberman like figure, so it's got decent articulation, and it's personally, this figure isn't about the articulation, it is about that stunning detail. It's got amazing designed like front chest piece, and that very, very screen accurate, and it is a must-have for any Cyberman fan, and it goes well, obviously, if you've seen the 10th Planet, which I haven't, unfortunately, seen all the way through. This bit does weird me out, though. It's got like a human mouth there, but then it's got the black eyes, but then it's got like the kind of like head, like kind of car battery thing on the top, and then the kind of handles, which they always then stay with the Cyberman. They're a hands down iconic design, those handles. And then he's got like humanoid hands, but I actually like that, because then it makes him more scarier, you know, because it is actually human underneath there, just taking all the emotion. And then there's the big light bulb thing that then they shoot out, and then it kills people. And then loads and loads of creases on the back of the legs and the back of the chest and the arms and stuff. Yeah, brilliant detail. One down, 2 to go. The second one being the Tomb of the Cyberman one. Similar articulation. It has no head articulation because this one has like a sculpted head / neck bolted into kind of like the glued down to the sort of upper chest bit. It would be able to do full 360 degrees on its arms, but it can't because of the tubes, the black tubes there. Locking into this bit of the arms. So it can go in at the shoulder, at the elbow even, and then it can do full 360 degree hand articulation and that. The hands are a bit weird though, but I'll get into that in a minute. It can do in at the knee joint, or maybe not. Extremely stiff. I am a bit worried of breaking this figure right now, but it can kind of go in at the knee joint, but it's kind of extremely stiff, and it's kind of like molded in this oddly direction, where it's kind of like going back, but it's going back in a certain direction. It is rather weird. And then the boots should be able to do 360 degrees, even though I don't know why you'd want to. On detail wise, it is extremely well detailed. To the point that it's screen accurate, with the sort of like hands being silver, but with only like 3 little bits of kind of like a cloth material, I remember in the originals. This was just like a Hoover vacuumy kind of design with like these weird balls with sort of like holes in them. Really like the chest unit on this one, but it's a bit more, it's that in-between stage. It's still, it's less bulkier looking than the 10th Planet one, but it's still a bit more complex than the Invasion one, but it is still sort of complex and that. And then the head sculpt is really cool, like that weird letterbox like thing where it just goes down and then it's like, you will be like us, and that, and then there's soulless eyes. And then, as I say, there's still the pipes on the side, like the handles, and that, which all Cybermen need now. You know, it's that iconic even design for the Cybermen, and kind of like a little light bulby thing at the top. And yeah, it's really nicely done, this figure. Loads of little wiring and piping near the chest and the top of the chest and that. And not as much creases as the 10th Planet one, but a fair amount on the back and on the, but yeah, decent figure nonetheless. And then lastly, the Invasion Cyberman. Its head can go kind of like tilt side to side a little bit, but it is extremely stiff, or at least my one is. Can go in at the elbow, at the shoulder, or not the shoulder, at the like elbow, and that, and it can do full 360 hands articulation. And yeah, and then it can do in at the knees and do full 360 for the feet as well. That's about all the articulation, and it is, this figure does, out of the 3, I think, look the most like a human, which is a bit weird. Or figure-wise, it looks the most like a human, if that makes sense, like a humanoid-like figure. I obviously know that it doesn't look like a human because obviously the colour silver and that, and you associate that with machines. It's got nice details, you know, it's got like the pipe design from the Tomb of the Cyberman one. It's got an extremely basic chest unit and that, but it still looks really nice. I do think the helmet design is the best out of the 3. I just love this one. I don't know why. I just like these sides, you know, with the massive rings and loads of rings, and then the pipes, which are the most reminiscent of the Revived series, you know, the new series ones. And then on the back it has like this weird V thing that's sort of imprinted and kind of carved into the back of the body of the Cyberman. And then it's got this like sort of like nice texture to it and feel. And then it's got this cyber gun, which I cannot resist but pretend to be like pew pew and like pew, 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 and then like and pretend that the TARDIS is blowing up and stuff. It's kind of strange with my channel. I feel like I'm more of a kid with my action figures as I've got older. When I used to buy them and just review them, I'd be like proper serious about the reviews, but I don't know. Whether or not you like me being more serious, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, the gun is really nicely detailed. Like, it's got piping there, and it's got like a little brace-like thing where it could be rested on its shoulder, but it's very difficult to do that. It's got little like stick bit, and then this little like ray like gun thing, and it's just so many little details and indentations to make it look all that more authentic and look more like a laser gun, and that I like. So yeah, I'll just quickly put them all back into the correct position, and then we will end the review on that. So yeah, without further ado, what do I think of this set, and what would I give it out of 10? I will be giving it a well-earned 9 out of 10. Price-wise, it is decent, it is fantabidosi, it is on the ball with the price. $14.99, you cannot go wrong with this. The only downside is, I guess, obviously, if you're not a fan of the Cybermen, then obviously that's a downside. You know, if someone thought, oh, you're a fan of Doctor Who, and then gave you this figure set, and you like the figures, but you're not a big fan of the Cybermen, and you never bought any other Cybermen figures, and then someone bought you this, that would be a bit of a stupid move on their part. But obviously maybe they just assumed that you like figures, or the Doctor Who figures, so they assumed because you didn't have this, then you could add this to your collection. But whatever. Aside from that, I don't know. I mean, the other problems could be, you know, the limited articulation on certain figures, or just the fact that you don't like a certain design of a Cyberman or something like that. Could be a downside and stuff. The price is perfect for it. It's well named, the Age of Steel set. You know, it does go through a significant amount of ages of various iconic and legendary Cyberman designs, and without these cyber designs, we wouldn't be where we are today with the Cybermen we know and like, or dislike, depending on your opinion. And yeah, I do like these different various designs, and I like them as figures, and they encapture you know, the designs that they're aspiring to emulate and emulate on a plastic little figure, and that's the whole point of buying an action figure, because you like the character or the design of said monster or character, and whether or not you're a fan of the Cybermen, I think this is a must-have for any fan of the Cybermen, or even Doctor Who in general. And yeah, a well-earned 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching, comment, rate, and subscribe.